President Biden is waking up in his own bed this morning after 8 days in Europe at the G7 and NATO and a nearly 4-hour meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Geneva, Switzerland yesterday. Joining us this morning for reaction is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, good morning. Nice to have you back on.
Good to be with you. Thank you so much.
Senator, Joe Biden had something very bizarre to say during his press conference when he mentioned 16 U.S. cyber entities that are apparently off limits when it comes to hacking. Take a listen.
I talked about the proposition that certain critical infrastructure should be off limits to attack, period, by cyber or any other means. I gave them a list. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have it in front of me, 16 specific entities, 16 defined as critical infrastructure under U.S. policy, from the energy sector to our water systems.
What did you make of that? Did he just give Putin a list of things to hack?
I thought that this was really rather bizarre. They ought not to be hacking anything. This is part of the problem that we have, whether it's the communist Chinese or whether it's Vladimir Putin and the Russians. We don't want them hacking anything. This is not what they're supposed to be doing. The American people deserve better. And look, when it comes to protecting our virtual space, we have to realize more Americans individually move more of their transactional life online every single day. And because of that, we have to make certain that this virtual space is safe. And of course, with the Chinese, Rob, we've had a terrible issue with Huawei and that technology because they embed the spyware into their hardware. So I don't know what the president was going for there. If he says you can't hack these 16 things, but go hack at everything else, it doesn't instill a lot of confidence to American organizations or governments or entities.
Well, I want to see what's on the list. Probably Newsmax, the RNC, places like that for them to hack. Something that was not addressed yesterday, you just touched on this, but it might be the elephant in the room here. It's Russia and China and the fact that they might be working together now to hurt us. Should that have been addressed in some way yesterday?
Oh, it should have been top of the list. If I had been there and having this meeting, I would have said, look, we know Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. You're kind of an unholy alliance, or maybe what we would refer to as the axis of evil, the new axis of evil. And we want you to know we're watching very closely what you are doing with China, with Iran. We are watching what you're doing when it comes to dealing with North Korea. So, of course, that should have been on the list.
So Vladimir Putin, former KGB trained propagandist. Very bizarre also that these press conferences were held separately. Vladimir Putin went first, and basically that gave him the international stage in front of the international media to spew whatever he wanted for 55 minutes unchecked, and he took full advantage. How big a mistake was that?
Oh, I think that was a terrible mistake. The leader of the free world should have gone out there and set the tone and tenor and the message on this meeting. But instead, they let Putin go out there and set the tone, the tenor, and the message on this meeting. And then you had President Biden come in and he was completely on defense. And I think it showed at the end of his remarks, he was really quite frustrated, not only with the situation, but with the press.
Oh, I absolutely saw that. But this is a 78-year-old man that has had the busiest 8 days yet in his presidency. And I think, say what you will, but I think some of it was just fatigue. I think he was probably exhausted by the end of all this. I want to talk about inflation for just a moment. It's up 5% since May. That's the biggest increase we've had in 13 years. The Fed just announced they want to raise rates. Is now the right time for something like that?
No, it is not the right time for that. And when you talk about what people are seeing at the cash register and the gas pump, they are seeing higher prices. And all of this about we have to eliminate hydrocarbons. Well, where do they think the wrappers on the food at the grocery store, the packaging, the plastic for the water bottles, where do you get all of these polymers? And of course, continuing to have our oil and gas industry functioning, getting that price per barrel down is something that is going to be important. And you look at the decisions of the Biden administration, and Rob, when we talk about inflation, this is of their making. When you talk about the pressure at the gas pump, look at the Keystone Pipeline. Look at this ridiculous decision on the Nord Stream 2 that gives Russia a great big fat paycheck to go spend it and then harm our allies. People are paying attention to this. You know, you're looking on your screen at fresh produce.
Yeah.
When you put the bag, where do they get the polymers to make that bag? People need to think about this. The logistics, the transport, the delivery of every bit of this food, you are going to have those hydrocarbons, and Joe Biden is running the cost up of every bit of this. The other thing, I was talking with a manufacturer of snack foods, the oils that they use for this, the aluminum wrapping that they use for the packaging. The cost of all of that has gone up. So your 75-cent bag of chips is now an 89-cent bag of chips. Your $1.19 bag of chips is now going to be a $1.39 bag of chips.
And you think the American people are finally, I mean, this whiplash from America first to America last. I mean, Joe Biden literally said, he said that Nord Stream, the pipeline from Russia to Germany, is almost done. So he would like that to be built. Keystone was almost done, but he canceled that his first day in office. You think the American people are finally starting to pick up on this?
Of course they are.
Yeah.
You look at the misplaced priorities of the Biden administration, and whether it is people running across the border, and so many people now are logging in to whatever social media they use for their website or whatever, or for their news, or going to their favorite news website. And Rob, they're watching these cameras with these people coming across.
Right.
They're hearing about these centers in their communities that have these migrants that have come in. And then they are looking at what is happening with critical race theory.
Right. Right.
They're frustrated with the school board and the lockdowns and the teachers unions. And this is why we've got in Tennessee a great group, Moms for Liberty. God bless them. They're out
like
there,
that.
they're these decisions.
I like that.
And this is where moms, security moms, are standing up and they're saying, it is about my children, it's about their education, it is about their health care, it is about getting government off my back.
Absolutely. Yep.
You guys are messing it up.
Senator, we appreciate you coming on with us again. Thank you so much for the insight. Look forward to seeing you again.
Got it. Thanks.